So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a big theater. I've imagined your family.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I do that.
We're not sluts.
We just love love.
More relaxed now. Just FYI. There we go. You couldn't see that over the laptop.
What is that?
Just, I undid my pants. My pants are undid.
Wow, that didn't take long.
No, man.
So clearly you're the drunk one this time.
I'm not drunk. I'm just, I'm fat, happy, and healthy.
That's a good thing. Fat, happy, and healthy. We like that. Yeah.
So, welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Fat, Happy, and Healthy, a.k.a. the Law. And
I feel like I'm being trolled here.
You did it to yourself.
you're trolling yourself. Oh,
This is what
God.
happens when you show your wank.
Ladies, I'm
everyone.
not fat.
I'm festively plump. Oh, God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is Mr. and Mrs. Adam. And as Mr. Adam was trying to say, we're here with the Law and Babydoll from Our Secret Spot, which I have to say, it's a fantastic name for a club.
However.
Because we keep saying it to people. They're like, oh, where did you go this weekend? And we say, we went to Our Secret Spot. And they're like, oh, you're not going to tell us where? Like, no, that's the name of the place.
That's the name of the location. Yeah, but it's a secret. No. Yeah, so that happened to us on Sunday.
Yeah, because it was
And it's
originally
not the
named
first
that
time,
way
yeah.
to be said in conversation if you wanted to be cheeky about it, saying, we're going to Our Secret Spot. And you go, ooh, where's that? Thinking it would be an Our Secret Spot, not these Our Secret Spot.
Like a particular place in a park
okay,
or
I see, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
something that's important to you as a couple.
Yeah.
Like a swingers club.
Or a toilet.
Yeah, so can't we go, we're just going to go
How it
to
works.
our little secret spot,
Yeah.
So, wait, was the name yours? Like, you all came up with that?
Myself and my former business partner came up with that.
Yeah. There was no input from me. I just chose the logo.
Yeah.
I
Just
did,
did choose the logo.
yeah, visual.
So we've already lost control of the podcast. We're 2.5 minutes in. So we've got...
Doing well.
I know, right? We have the Law, who he absolutely loves his name because he feels like he's
In charge.
and intimidating. With his pants undid. And once again, the beautiful baby doll. So...
Why do you get beautiful and I'm just like, there's that
Fuck
dude.
your wang out.
Yeah. I did not flop my wang out. Did you hear a...
No, it was much softer. Dink. Hey, ladies, I may not be very big around, but I sure am short.
You just bury yourself further, man.
I'll be at least number one on one of your lists. Shortest dude. Tallest dude. No, that was a poorly executed joke. I feel like it was better in my head.
It was. Keep eating Do we your need to pie. fix that in post?
We'll fix that in post. Okay, so we've completely lost it. So we've got some questions. So how do we...
Well, we were going to start out talking about the club before we got on to the Law's wang, apparently.
Before we got on the Law's wang. Wow. This is escalating.
Really? Doesn't take long.
Speaking of the Law's wang, I don't know why this made me think of it, but the next pendulum party...
Really off topic. Go on, keep going. Keep
Plug
rolling
away,
with it.
Bradford. Plug away.
We're just going to keep rolling.
Okay.
So we have set a date for the next pendulum party for everyone out there who went to the first one or who missed it for whatever reason. We're doing it again.
Yeah, and we've decided that that's going to be, drum roll please, May 19th.
Yes, so it's Friday night again. Worked really well last time. We had tons of people, lots of fun. So hopefully, if you went, come out again. If you didn't,
Come on out.
give it a try.
Yeah. Oh, my stomach's all grumbly now. We've had a little bit of wine, folks, so forgive us for this podcast. Yeah, so May 19th. So, yeah, we'll be podcasting and screaming and chanting about that now.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the club.
Yes.
So for us, we've been to a handful of clubs, and I know you guys have been to a handful of clubs.
Just continue on.
I can't. He's adjusting himself.
Just stop touching yourself, okay, for a little bit, please.
We've been to a number of clubs. One of the things we like about your club is that it's exciting. It's lively. It's never a dull moment.
No. And there's always interesting people, nice people to talk to. It's a good crowd. The vibe there is positive. It's interesting
and social. It's a very social experience. You know, we've been to clubs specifically. We've talked about them very recently in New York, where there's no talking amongst couples. It's just one of those things. If you come, you're there for sex only. There's no socializing. Is that something that happened organically with you guys, or was that something you thought about from the beginning?
Did you tailor it that way, or did it just kind of happen?
I think we did tailor it that way a little bit, seeing as we do have like that lounge room section. We have got the bar section to pop your drinks. And I think interacting as an Aussie, I feel like we do need to have that interaction for us to get to that next level, or at least I know I do. And I know finding like when we went overseas, like you said, when we went to the States, it was just sort of in, bang, done, sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. We're confined by the venue that we have. So the layout, the size, the shape really define really what the club is going to be like. So in that sense, I mean, it's part of our vision, but I mean, even if we wanted to be something else, I don't suppose we could have really been anyway, because just the way it is, we don't have a dance floor. We don't have things like you've been to when you're in New York and where we've been to in Canada and Europe. They've put and the States as well, sorry. DJ booth, big dance floor.
Yeah.
It's just not that sort of club. Where, I mean, I guess you'd say we're more of a lounge, like a night lounge, more than a club in that sense. Like, so if you said to people nightclub, all right, they're going to have a certain idea of dancing, music, bar, that kind of thing. We're not that.
I don't know. When you say lounge, though, I think of Leisure Suit Larry. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't call you that either, but I will start wearing my leisure suit. You know, I got the snakeskin.
I thought you always wore your leisure suit. It's just you and your birthday suit.
That is the suit I am most comfortable in.
And I have the most leisure in.
I lounge about over there. I lounge about over there. Oh my god.
I lounge with her. I lounge with him.
Yes, I'm okay with that. Hey, I know my audience.
Yeah.
My audience is okay with that. So you go ahead, because it's funny. I can't actually read the. I've been laughing so much. I have tears in my eyes.
He's crying.
So I
yes,
can't
yes.
read the.
So how did your family take it when you decided to open a swingers club? And in the almost 3 years now that you've been open, because you have a third birthday coming up, has that changed over time? Their reactions or impressions, attitudes?
So originally we held off from telling my family. We thought it'd be best to sort of ease them into it a little bit. Initially it was a shock. I think it would be a shock for anyone's family, especially like, their baby girls doing something they didn't expect. But I think now, like, they still have a few things to learn about the lifestyle, the community itself. They don't fully understand it yet because obviously they've never been in it, so they're not 100% sure of what it is, but they know I'm safe. They know I'm happy. And I think at the end of the day, that has made them okay with it.
Also, the relationship was much younger, so we're coming up to 4 years now, and the club's been for 3. So obviously we were together for 1 year before the club opened. So that obviously has a bearing on the way your parents would have viewed what you were doing, our relationship, and me, I suppose. Whereas I'm a bit older, so Jess,
We have a 7-year age gap.
Yeah, we have a 7-year age gap. So Jess was 21 at the time that the club opened.
Yeah.
So it's pretty young.
And my parents hadn't met you as much either. Like, we'd moved in together pretty quickly. I guess we sort of weren't stopping. We just sort of jumped straight
So it was
into
just
it
a
all.
lot of new, really
A lot of
quick,
new,
and
Yeah.
It's an adjustment for
frontal.
anyone.
Were you guys
Yeah.
both swinging before you started dating?
No. So Lawrence was actually the one to explain to me what it was, and he was the one to sort of bring me into this lifestyle.
And you were like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah. More guys for me. And girls.
Yeah.
That came later. I had to learn more about that one.
Yeah. So my family knew before I opened the club what I was into in terms of that lifestyle. And so opening up a business was sort of an extension of that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, my mum especially was a bit sort of, I don't know what the word would be, just...
Mommy.
Hesitant?
Yeah, just a bit,
Reticent.
Cautious.
yeah, of that whole scene. Like, you know, I guess there's still even that connotation of it's a bit underworld. Mm-hmm. Who you're going to be hanging out with, that kind of stuff. And then how do you legitimize your life to the powers that be? How do you get a bank loan? How do you do this? How do you do that? This is something young, dumb. I don't care. I'll just do whatever I want to do. But they're fine. Like, I think I've even told you this story before, where my parents, they've been to the club not when it's open, when it's closed. When first opened it and signed the lease, and it was all exciting. Everything was being built. They came through and had a walk around, and they think, it's nice. Blah blah blah. Mum comes by every now and then. Because we live by the club, but she'll come over for lunch, and then she'll drop by the club wherever I am, and she'll inspect the sheets, inspect the towels, and make sure things are tidy and clean.
I love that.
It's like a fire inspection. She'll come through, check all the railings are in place,
She makes
check
sure
the stairs are correct.
Safety hazards, and have you done
All
your
the
fire
signs are up.
inspection? And
So it's a very safe club.
100%.
if my mother's involved, you're okay.
So if
love it.
if the Law Senior and Mrs. Law Senior
Mrs.
ever
the
decide
Law
to
Senior.
come during hours, let us know. We'll treat them nicely.
I don't think I'll be there on that night. I may leave.
I can't see this happening in the near future, but I'm sure we could,
We'll handle them with kid gloves.
Obviously, not that we're British, but I feel like that's something I don't need to see in my lifetime.
That's fair enough.
It's one thing not on your bucket list.
Yeah, it's like, family knocking boots.
Mom, you got to get out of the petite room. Other people want to use it.
Mom, it's 3 a.m. Go home.
Stop being greedy.
Oh, yeah, the classic. 5 minutes. This means you, Mom.
Oh, we could just do it over the intercom, creep about a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I keep wondering why you don't do the Darth Vader thing.
Whoa, that's
we've
an
never
idea.
thought of that until you
We used to play
give the 5-minute call with Darth Vader.
Should do
the
that.
song "Get the Fuck Out of Here," that closing bar song,
Yeah.
and
It worked quite well.
it was kind of a little bit fun.
You could start with Semisonic's closing time and then move to Get the Fuck Out of Here. You don't have to go home, but you can.
Get a super mix of it, and just like
Get the fuck out.
no, we love you. Keep coming to the club. Thank you. But at 3 a.m. Get the fuck out.
Safe travel.
I'm tired.
Safe travels, sir. Safe travels.
Oh my God.
So then, speaking of family and strange things at the club, what is the strangest or most shocking thing you've seen or experienced at the club?
Honestly, I don't think anything's shocking anymore.
Anymore. So what was the first one for you?
I don't know. I think everything was keep
I
going.
always find this question hard to answer without sort of like turning people off the idea of even coming to the club.
Okay.
It doesn't happen all the time. However, there are things.
There's always a one-off, though.
There's always a one-off, and it has happened. Okay. It's more. I think I've told this story a number of times. I've probably told you this one. It's
I know this story.
The funny anecdote. Okay,
I like
so this was over the series of about 3 or 4 weeks. I can't remember exactly how many. But at the end of the night, we do the room cleaning and take the sheets, strip the beds, get them ready for washing and all that. And then on one week, we found on the sheets. Now we have clean white sheets. We found poo smears and semen.
Like people that come from boats?
Hey, everyone has their own
Like
fetish.
the Navy people?
No,
I
not
like
those
the
kind of
Navy
people.
people.
Yeah. I understand you all have a semen stains. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so maybe someone got a little adventurous, tried
Right.
something they weren't prepared for. This is why you need to go to sex ed in the city classes, learn about anal play, and prepare for this sort of stuff. People don't just go willy-nilly into this. Okay, so obviously someone had done something they weren't prepared for, and then a little bit of an accident happened. That's fine. Those sheets were burned.
Dramatic much? We just threw them.
Kind of like The Simpsons, where Homer's in the stonecutters and they burn his undies and the soul fly. that kind of thing. That was week 1, and the following week it happened again. That's weird. It's kind of the same sort of thing. It's right at the end of the night. Week 3 happened. It happened again, and I get that there's something going on here. Right. Called some kind of team meeting the next weekend, and I got myself, Jess, our former business partner, and the other staff, and they go, look, this has been happening, and we've been cleaning it up. We're losing sheets.
Kissing men, guys. Not good.
And it was really frustrating because it's like, well, this is kind of disgusting, and it's costing us more money than we really need to be losing right now. And when I told the story, my business, our former business partner's face sort of just dropped, and it was this realization that dawned on him. I go, what do you know? And he's gone, this woman for the past 3 weeks has been asking me for anal sex. However, she would always finish off the request by, but only at the end of the night, come see me at 2 a.m. And so we put 2 and 2 together. She's asking for anal sex right at the end, knowing full well probably what's going to happen. So we've gone, and she's the only common denominator who's been at the week for those weeks. So this is all we can work out. So he approached her during that night of the 4th weekend that she was there and pulled her aside, and I listened in on the conversation, and I didn't think I knew how to handle it. So I said, you speak to her. And she, we asked her, what have you been doing upstairs and this and that. And obviously she doesn't know what we're talking about. And then my business partner, it's hard to do without people seeing, because he did the motion of what a dog does after he's done his business and tries to wipe it on the carpet. The ass scooting, the dragging, the keeping the front paws on the ground and the back ass just wiping on the carpet. That kind of movement.
I totally wish you guys could see the law right now imitating this.
And he said to her, listen, you've been having anal sex and dirtying our sheets, we have to throw them away. And she flat out denied, as you would, mostly embarrassed. And he goes, now listen here, we've seen you and we know you're doing the dirty dog ones. He's doing the motions. I can't control myself at this point in time and start giggling. And she's just gone flushed bright red and sort of never admitted it, but just acknowledged that this was happening and said, okay, she's never been back to the club since, as you can imagine. So that's probably the most
At the time, shocking.
strangest thing. Like, who does this? Why would you do this to people? Someone has to clean this up. It doesn't just magically become clean.
Oh my God, that is a fantastic, disturbing story. I've heard it multiple times, and every time I always think it's going to end differently.
It was all a dream, and then I woke up.
And you were there, and you were there.
No, this was real.
I don't know who you are, but you're there.
Like, anything to me, like when people ask me that, it's like, I know they're thinking of probably like, oh, you've seen that time, like an 18-person orgy. Like, they're probably thinking of that, but to me, that's how I kind of imagine the club should be, right? And that's normal. So I don't think of those stories. I think anything that involves feces or vomit, and I'm just like, because that's disgusting. Like, obviously, people get drunk, they vomit, it happens. But still.
Well, so I will say the most disturbing thing I've seen at the club, and this I don't think it's that disturbing. I want to hear this. It wasn't that disturbing because I came down and immediately told you. But somebody had gone up to the big room with the double beds, and they had drawn a bath in your little like jacuzzi tub thing, and then they just get out and leave the bath water. They don't drain the tub.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't drain the tub? So I come downstairs and tell you, I'm like, yeah, dude, somebody had a bath and
it's happened again.
didn't drain the tub. I'm not going to touch it, but I thought that you should touch it.
I love that when you come and tell me that, and I go, no problems, Bradford, and I have to go put my hand in there, and it's almost always up to here, so where I roll my shirt up to. And I'm like, duh! And that plug is like, it's got a little lip that you've got to grab with your fingernails, so you're like,
You need just one of those little grabber things where you can just kind of hook it and pull it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you should get a grabber
See,
thing.
that's logical.
But I hate those things, like when you go to a hotel and they put a little chain on it and
Yeah.
like you pull it out and then it's like and it sucks part of your leg down the drain. Like,
Why are you still in there when it's pulled out?
no, you accidentally
She's
pull
got
it out.
you there.
No, when you're sitting in it and you're sort of like
You pull it out with your ass.
you're just
Dude, you go round in circles.
Pendulum party, May 19th.
No.
So
along the same lines.
along the same lines, we actually had a Twitter question from at Lolo Lady. She wants to know,
Hi, Lolo lady.
what is the weirdest thing, not grossest, the weirdest that has been left behind, that somebody's left after a party?
One shoe.
Oh, yes! Good work, Jess. Love this story. Now,
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a story for you.
I did find it's amusing to me.
You've told it multiple times. I know you love this. I don't know why, but yeah.
So there's obviously only like a small part of this story that we know and understand. It was towards the end of the night, and a lady comes down to the bar, and she's in her towel, and she's getting ready to leave. And she just goes, "Hey guys, I just left some of my stuff upstairs. I just couldn't find it all." You go, "No worries, we'll try and help you." Walked around, couldn't find anything up there. Walked back down, and by this time she'd gone back to the change room, started getting dressed. And you go, "What's missing?" She goes, "My stilettos." I go, "I didn't see any shoes up there." She goes, No, I have one." I go, "What do you mean you have one?" She goes, "Well, I found one. I didn't find the other one." I go, "Well, there's no other shoe up there."
We like turned all the lights on,
Yeah, we went
searched the
looking for
floors.
this thing. It's-
Nothing.
Did someone take the one?
this is all we can assume that's happened.
You've never ever found it since?
No.
No. So it's either the club has sucked it up and put it into a black hole, or
Someone-
logically
Someone has just walked off with one shoe.
Okay, so it's either a shoe fetishist
Yeah.
Yeah.
or underwear gnomes.
yeah.
Yeah. I would
I
say
like
like a
the
shoe
nose.
fit, like, and from recollection,
I like the
the
fetishes.
person who owned this shoe was rather attractive. You know, and the shoes were
Stilettos, of course she was.
the stilettos were nice too. You know, they're sexy. It makes a woman look sexy, and it's like so maybe they just got infatuated with the idea of that shoe and just took it.
So you say that you took the shoe? Is
And
this what you're trying to like?
yeah, I didn't take the shoe. I promise you, I did not take the shoe.
I imagine that you have like on your mantelpiece like these trophies.
Yeah, I found that.
And it's this shoe.
We have the bra trophies at least.
Yeah, we
at
have the bra
club.
trophy. So that was the weirdest thing. I felt like, that's weird. Why would someone just take one? If
Yeah.
you're gonna take them, take both.
We've had people
Yeah.
leave their shoes as well. At the
Because then you
club.
know it's deliberate, right?
Like that's weird.
You
Yeah.
understand, like in
Just
the low
one.
light, you know, you
Yeah,
saw
just one
a
shoe's
pair
a
of
bit
black
weird.
stilettos and you go,
Sure.
they're mine, I took them. But to take one is weird.
That is
I agree.
weird.
Shoe fetish.
I think
Yeah.
that it's got to be a
It
shoe
has to
fetish,
be,
a
yeah.
shoe fetishist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is ironic because of that story. Because Lolo Lady, she is a shoe fetishist because she loves her fucking shoes, she posts a lot of feet pictures.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this later. Lady. One
Uh,
sec.
L0
Lady.
lady.
I think we follow each other. Right?
Hello,
I'm sure-
lady.
Hello, lady. I know she follows you. So interesting.
Just
so
don't go stealing her shoes.
but don't go stealing my shoes. I wouldn't if. Okay.
I couldn't wait for that to happen.
I know,
Just-
really.
just-
But she said it. And so this, you mentioned on this the bra trophies. How many people leave? Like, I guess how commonly do people leave
Bras,
clothing?
lingerie. Yeah.
Laundry, I would say once a week. Like people leave. I'm going to include socks in this.
Okay.
So people must think
Are socks laundry
Hey,
for
hey,
you?
socks are sexy.
socks are sexy in sex.
All right, there you go.
Just don't let me see them. Just keep your feet warm, but I don't want to see why. We get a lot of underwear left behind. It must just be like, you know, you're in the heat of the moment, you're chucking your stuff off, you're throwing them around the room. And when you pack up to leave, you just sort of, you forget, which
Yeah.
is fair. Like, I do it all the time. I forget where I leave my socks, I borrow Lawrence's, I forget where I leave my bra.
You were Lawrence's.
No, same. But yeah, we just a lot. We have a lot. We've got a nice collection.
Do people ever
so
come back for them, or
Maybe-
the most recent one we had was a set of Honey Birdette lingerie. It was like a suspender belt with stockings, and I had to mail it back to her.
yeah, I think the expensive stuff. Yeah.
You guys should do one of those things like the in
Auction
the
things
States.
off?
Well, yeah, where they
The airport
the
ones?
airports where they
Yeah.
take lost luggage that nobody ever claims, and they just sit it out, and you buy the suitcase, and you get whatever's inside of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so
We
you
should
guys could
stuff
do
it
a
with some condoms and be
Yeah.
like, good luck and go.
yeah,
Enjoy.
and go.
And show.
We've lost the law to Twitter, and I think he's
stalking
perving
the
on
lady
Lola
now.
Lady.
Oh yeah.
He's like in your.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you have a foot fetish, Lawrence.
No, I'm just looking at this one. The Speedos is cool. I like this. A bit of nippy training this morning. Oh,
We've
cool.
totally lost the law
Okay,
on
we've
Twitter.
completely lost the law. Thank you, lady. Okay, so your theme night. So one of the things that we really like about the club is your wide variety of parties and themes and the things that you do. My personal favorite, next to Pendulum, is the Glow Party. I love the Glow Party. But other than that, things like your masquerade, your glows, etc. Where did these ideas come from? Did you do what Picasso says, good artists imitate, great artists steal? Did you just take them from other places that you had been, or did you come up with them yourselves?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they're fairly well-known themes. They're not anything that new. The reason we chose them as themes is because we wanted themes or parties that would, one, interest people, and two, wasn't so committing in terms of outfit or expense in terms of having to buy a costume and all that. Because we tried that to start with, and we'd do like a monthly party where we'd have a specific theme, and you'd have to go and buy a costume or rent something.
Yeah.
It gets expensive, and it kind of felt like that was, again, hurting numbers or just
And then where do
making-
you keep it after that?
Yeah,
Because you're
exactly.
not
It's
gonna
sort of
use
a
it.
one-time
Yeah.
deal, whereas the Masquerade, that's a fairly low investment. And of all the parties that we have, we consider having or we put on as something that we ourselves can provide the
guests or
the particular
people who
thing.
come, especially if you're coming and it's like a one-off and you haven't actually decided and you haven't looked at the website and you look at the website and you're like, oh no, it's a glow-in-the-dark party. We provide everything for you. So
And that's what we love about the
easy.
glow party is that you have the glow paint sitting out,
The
which is
stockings and the glasses.
and the ties and just whatever. There's stuff around, and we particularly like the paints because it's such a great icebreaker with people. You know,
It's a
you
good
can go up and
interactive
talk to
game.
people, and it gets
Yeah.
people talking and like, you know, hey, can I draw on you or whatever, and
Breaks physical barriers straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, it's so easy. And, you know, it's like if you've got a tattoo, like everybody always wants to color in my tattoo. And I'm like, yes, you may color in my tattoo. Touch me.
Touch me. Right here.
I am your canvas. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Story about Glow Party. It wasn't always called Glow Party. Probably about a year ago, it used to be called White Party. And we've got,
Too many people with pointy sheets.
well,
That would be.
Whoa. It goes along these lines. We did have an African American couple come to the club, and we had our staff answer the door, who works there now. And her English is not all that fantastic. She is Dutch. She's lovely and
She's-
doesn't have a mean bone in her body towards
Friendliest
anyone,
person
against
in the
any
world.
race, creed, whatever you want to be. She is cool with. And then she said to this couple, "It is a white party. You need to be." She didn't say you need to be white, but it is along the lines of
You're expected
Be
to
white.
be.
meaning
Correct.
that you should be
White.
dressed in white.
Yeah.
Yes, because they were
yeah.
dressed in all black.
Right.
now being African American. Now they were from the States, and I know this because they did come back. They turned on their heel and left.
Yeah.
And they came up, and before they even came, because I could see them leaving because we have cameras outside, I could see them walking away, and when that happened, I go, I can see what's happened here.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, and she came up, and I said, "What happened?" She goes, "I told them it's a white party, and they have to be white," and they just left, and I'm going, oh no.
But as she said it, she's realized what she said.
Yes,
Right.
and she is I know who you're talking
I can
about.
see
She's
her being
a
so
wonderfully
embarrassed.
sweet person, and I
Yeah.
cannot imagine her. She's not, you're right, not a
She
mean bone in her
wouldn't have
body.
fly.
And,
Yeah.
and my stomach's sank, and I was just mortified. I felt awful. Fortunately, they came back.
I think they'd just gone to the website.
No, that's
They'd
right.
gone
They
to the
got on the
website 'cause they were
website
like,
and they
"What is
and
this?"
I assumed, okay, we're gonna hammer these people, right? And they've gone on. They said, "Oh, white party, dressed in white, glow in the
Yeah.
dark, white party." Yeah, okay. And they've come back and they said, "I think we misunderstood what the staff said at the door." And I go, "Yeah, look."
Well, this time I answered.
Yeah, so we that was handled, and they were cool. They were totally
Well,
understanding.
that's fortunate.
That is.
Yeah.
So that was that, and then so I said,
So we
change
need
it
to
to
change
something else, so we don't have this confusion.
I think you're the one.
There's no
who come up with
glowists
the
out there that I know of. Like, I hate glow. It pisses me off. These glows. They're taking away all our darkness.
They took our germs.
You sound like a unicorn.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, so I will say, whenever I hear glow party, I always think it's a big gay party because
Hey man, whatever brings them in.
I'm always excited for that, and then I'm like, oh no, it's an OSS. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, it's heteronormative.
Get away from the
Get away from
party.
me, male, female couples. How dare you?
Jokes, I joke. So, what is your favorite of your events?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
My favourites, I think Newbie Friday, because I like talking to all the newbies. I feel like because I can relate to how they've come into this. They don't really know what's going on.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry. Apparently the law with his pants undid is getting too hot in here.
It's getting too hot. You can open that one. We might get a little breeze. If it gets loud, we'll...
So he's now opening all the doors.
With his pants undid. Nice blue underwear you have. It'll be fine. Thank you for showing us your underwear. Can I take a picture to post it to Twitter?
No, that's
suddenly
totally
gets
can't
shot.
talk. Yeah, can't talk
It's
now.
It's okay.
It's
all
fine.
good.
So I think because I can relate to what it's like to be new to something like this and how scary it can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun for me because I get to see what it's like from the other side and I get to be that one to nurture them into it. So I feel like a little mother hen, which is kind of a weird outlook on this one now that I'm thinking about it.
It
I've
is,
just said
considering
that.
you're so young
I
and
know.
you're the old
It's
mother
like,
hen.
oh God.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
all I can
almost
think of
always
is...
the youngest in the club.
Always.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I like those nights. And
But
I
you're a
think
good mother hen, though.
Yes.
You welcome people so well.
I don't
You do.
scare people.
Yeah, well, you are the social butterfly.
Yeah.
And, we've had this conversation before.
This is very true.
I'm getting the look from the law. I'm getting the law look.
It's just because I suit the wings better, baby. It's okay.
Well, the meet and mingles always. You're the one that we never see, and he's the one that we talk to the entire time. And he's always like, "Oh, I should go be social. I can do this. I can be social."
And then I come back and he's like, "Oh, great. Have you been to everyone?" I'm like, "Yes." Okay, cool. I'll see you.
And the odd meet and mingle that Jess is not at, I try to look around to make sure everybody's talking.
I'm
Like,
inherently
Jess isn't
shy
here.
and awkward, and I feel and it's like it's something I still battle with all the time. So
Yeah,
I just
it's
feel like people don't really want to talk to me anyway.
You are shy,
Yeah,
and I totally appreciate that. And honestly, that does surprise me about you because knowing you're oh God, I feel like I don't mean any of this. This is all podcast stuff. You're intelligent. You're nice. You're mooning me.
You have a good sense of humor.
You have a good sense of humor. You're clever and you're quick. So I understand that you're shy. So I'm not going to say, oh, you shouldn't be shy, but you probably shouldn't be shy.
That's all right.
You don't have a lot to be shy about.
Yeah.
You could just jump on the back. I'm sure I can carry you with my wings.
Okay. No worries.
That's a very odd visual. Yeah, get behind me. I'll carry you with my wings.
And I
Say it in that
jump on, and she tries to take off. Oh God, no! Just falls.
We're all gonna die.
We jump off the cliff and just start sinking.
All right, screw
Plummeting
you guys. I'm
towards the
becoming a
ground.
unicorn. You guys suck.
Oh my God. This is another one of those times where we're making fun of him, not you. We're saying he's fat. No, I'm sorry.
I feel like we do need to post a picture so that people know that he's really not fat.
No, you're svelte and muscular.
You're
You
girl,
are.
Yeah.
So-
You got your T-Rex on too.
I was actually talking to a colleague today who knows you, and I said that I punched you on Saturday night. And she goes, "Aw, it must have been like taking a swat from a kitten." Well, he ran. She goes, "He was being polite."
Wait, why did you guys get into a punch-up?
He was being mean over a girl.
Oh,
It's always about a girl.
Typical.
It's always a girl.
It's always
This
about a
makes
girl.
sense.
Our
I enjoy our dialogue at the club.
Always look forward to it. Yeah.
Like in the midst of your like in between orgasms, you know, like come down and talk shit with Lawrence.
It's the best post-coital glow.
I need some water and shit talk with Lawrence. Because I'll be sitting there like scrubbing a glass up. Fuck, I'm hot. Sweating here.
But it's nice because we get our water and our shit talk, and then we go back and do it again. We're ready for round 2 or 3 or
Oh my
We
god.
normalize.
Okay. Your favorite night and
My favorite night.
I know I'm trying to rein us in.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Getting there.
It'd have to be Masquerade Party. Yeah, Masquerade Party is definitely my favorite.
Because you don't like to know who people are.
No. Well, funny enough, like people wear masks for like all of probably maybe like an hour, an hour and a half, like depending on how like
20 seconds.
But it's always a good crowd. There's it's probably one of our busier nights of the month, though. So it has appealed to me from business side as well as
Fair enough.
as a
Yeah.
But in that vein, like busier is better for that. One for the club and two for everyone there. So they're having a better time. It's
More people, more variety.
Yeah. And of the nights, it tends to be one of the younger crowds of the month. Like it seems to attract that younger crowd. Like particularly like the average probably drops even a little bit. It goes into like late 20s to mid 30s is sort of the range, the bulk of the crowd, and then you might get a couple younger and then older. Yeah.
To me, Masquerade is fun because it gives you a chance to dress up a little bit, but you don't have to. Again, you don't have to have like a big costume or anything. You can just
you could be out for dinner, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you just go, well, we're going to go to the club and we're just going to get a...
Our guests are hitting each other. I see abuse from across the table. Our poor listeners at home.
I feel like we needed to video this instead of just simply recording the audio.
This needed to be a vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Masquerade. Look, I'm trying to rein it in, okay?
Well, I will say also, you guys always have the masks as well. So if people don't have their own masks, they can come in and you've got masks that you hand out.
Right.
And it's easy for us because anything that you wear out to, say, going out to dinner or to drinks, you can comfortably wear to the club and then put on a mask and you won't look out of place or weird or anything like. We're the globe party and we're saying either be undressed and we start painting you, or wear bright colours. If people come in like completely in black and I tease them, I go, "Did you get the memo?" What?
And
It's all right.
You don't answer the door.
Just take your shirt off. We're gonna start painting you. Okay.
But I think it's good because it brings in new people as well. Like especially if you're nervous and you're a bit nervous because people might know you. It's a good hiding your identity sort of party as well.
Yeah.
The masquerade party.
Yeah, the masquerade. Yeah. So it's a good introductory party to newbies as well. So you tie in both of them, I guess.
But in saying that, like I think some of when people ask me like, what's the best night you've had at the club? It's something that's been just a normal night. There's no theme, and for whatever reason, a certain group came in. And they all seemed to just gel really well, and everything clicked. Even though it wasn't the biggest crowd, they all got along, and that's all you need. It's like you can have 1,000 people there if you don't like anyone.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
But if you get along with everyone, you find everyone attractive or interesting on some level, you're going to have a way better night than anywhere else. And that's what I say to people when they ask us about the club, like, oh, how busy you get? And I go, well, we try to attract more quality couples.
So what you're just trying to say is quality over quantity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I will say that some of our best nights, while we love the glow parties and some of the theme nights, some of our absolute favorite best nights have been just those random one-offs. And like you said, it depends on who's there. Because the crowd makes all the difference.
And I'll be honest, while I completely appreciate that you guys like the busy nights because it's your business, I think my favorite nights are the quieter nights where there's, 4 to 8, 10 other couples, that are like us, that we all just sit downstairs and chit chat, and then you go up and play with them, and there's an intimacy there that I really like, and those nights aren't as common because you guys are normally pretty busy. Yeah. But I like both. I see benefits to both.
And the funny thing is, on those nights that you consider like quieter and whatnot, if you go up the stairs and you look in like the sauna and the massage table room, those areas are usually pretty friggin' full.
Yeah.
But we just hardly ever go up to the sauna ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say,
Yeah.
on one of those air quotes quieter nights was the night where we were in the room with 19 people.
Yeah.
It was a quiet night.
5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8 couples.
We've had that
One
before,
bed?
where it's sort of, I think it was around midnight or around there, and the couple came in, they're at the door asking us how many people, because most people ask the same sort of questions when they want to come in. How many people are here? What do they look like? Blah, 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 blah. And so, okay, well, I
They're
can't give you a
nervous.
rundown of everyone. I can give you the general gist of what's happening. And they walked in the lounge room and the bar area. So, I mean, if you know where at the club, you know what I'm talking about. But we have the downstairs area, which is the social areas. And there was no one there except staff. And they go, where is everyone? And they felt that we had tricked them.
Yeah.
Because everybody was upstairs.
And everyone was
Yeah.
upstairs, and they were actually starting to get quite upset. And I said, seriously, just go to the lockers, get a drink. We'll give you a drink quickly. Have that, and then head upstairs. They headed upstairs. They came back down like 3 minutes later. It's very full up there. Well, I don't think we're quite ready for that. We're gonna have more drinks. Like, okay. No problem. And in saying that, like, goes to the busy nights where you're saying about the quieter nights can be better. We've had people like they insist on busy, like they like busy. However, I mean, there's a certain capacity for our club, which can't be held because of the venue size. However, once it starts to hit a certain number, yeah, it's cool and it's nice. There's a lot of people there, but real estate starts to become really valuable, especially laying down real estate.
Yeah.
And people have found that like it's very full on because there's more people doing more everywhere. They come in, they say, "Oh, it's not what we kind of like. We actually do prefer just your normal nights now." And people do. We have had people leave saying we don't like the busy nights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I understand that. You know, this.
It depends on what you expect and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we like both nights
Different reasons.
for different
but
reasons. Yeah. You know, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for first timers at the club?
And we realize you could go on and on and on. We
But
could
just
do a
one or
whole
two.
full podcast based
Yeah.
on advice for first timers.
Yeah.
But like, if we could. God bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. I knew it was coming.
You know, can you distill it down to 2 or 3 sentences? What advice would you give to somebody who's like, I've never been to a club before? Why would they choose your club? And
My advice overall for any newbie would be don't expect too much, because the more you expect, the more your experience is going to be harder to achieve what you actually really wanted. I think having, like, as a first timer coming to a club, I think it's a great way to sort of get into the lifestyle, just because you still have that, you know, that feel where you can be relaxed, you can sit in the lounge room, you don't have to have that pressure of doing anything, and you're not doing that one-on-one meeting where you feel like you're pressured into talking to this couple who may have already done this for a couple of years. So you can meet people and you get to discuss, you know, everyone else's story and see what it's actually like in the lifestyle. So I think it's almost like a little mini community all there at once for you.
yeah, I mean, I second that. I think that coming to a club for the first time, manage your expectations and understand that there is no obligation, that people in this lifestyle are friendly people because they understand. Everyone's been in this situation where it was their first time, and so they get it. People who experience get newcomers being nervous. We understand why you're nervous and how you can overcome it. But really, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. I was going to go on with something else. I just kind of
well, just to touch on what you guys said, you know, it's like, I know for she and I, when the first few times that we went to the club, we only had sex with each other. And we were both exhibitionists, so we like to be watched. But we didn't swap. We would go up. We would maybe do the massage thing on the massage tables. We did like going to the big room with the 2 king-size beds, and we would have sex there, often with other couples, but not swapping with other couples. And I know there's been many times that we've gone to the club and only socialized. We go because for us, it's a safe place.
It's a sexy environment.
It's a sexy environment. It's a safe place where we know that nobody's going to judge us
Yeah.
for being there. You know,
You get to talk to like-minded people. You meet people from all different walks of life, really interesting folks. But I do think, and you, Lawrence, touched on it there just for a second, where you said, you know, that you don't have to play. You know, if you go and you don't want to, you don't feel it, or you're intimidated, you don't have to play. Or you can play with your partner. You do have the petite room, which is just the small little bed. So you can
With a door that
with a
closes.
door that closes. So you can close yourself off. You don't have to be watched if you don't want to. And that's a good way to kind of, I think, edge in as well a little
Break
bit.
the ice a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to go on before. That was the train of thought I lost, was just meeting people and talking to other people. So the online stuff, which is obviously probably the second the other way of doing it, is time consuming. You've got to go through a lot of profiles. You've got to go through a lot of messaging. This is not knocking anyone in particular. Obviously, Red Hot Pie,
Big sponsors as well.
sponsors of ours, and we support them. They support us. But there's pros and cons for each of these avenues. You just got to understand what they are.
Yeah.
So if you're just looking and you don't really want to commit all that much time or a serious amount of energy into meeting up with a couple, you come to a club because you're going to meet more than one at once and be in the safe space, and then have the option to do what you want to play, if you want to play it. And that's probably the big thing there. It's probably something we don't harp on them a lot, is the option. Is sort of saying, like, some people think it's assumed that you're going to have to play if you go there, but it's not. It's just one of those things that you can do, and that's the bonus.
Yeah.
So it'd be just like any other night out, like if you went out with your partner and just said, let's go out for drinks, and I don't know, you went bowling or something like that. Well, instead of going bowling, we went to the club and you just hung out. And
You get to play with some kind of balls.
Yeah, yeah.
Stick your fingers in the balls.
Yeah.
2 fingers and 1 thumb in the ball. And toss them down the alley.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh no, we're not going to do the bowling puns again, are we?
I'll spare you those.
Wow.
I know. The last time it was a strikeout. Anyway.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Great pins.
Okay. We've clubbed that one to death. They're not clubs, but they look like clubs. Anyway. Now I lost my train of thought. Anyway. This along that same line. Do you have advice for someone who's going for their 100th trip, which is us coming up?
You've counted?
It's close to.
Really?
Yeah.
Shite.
No.
No, we're
Have we even been open for 100 weekends? I don't know.
We're probably...
yeah, well, if you've been open for 3 years, you've
Yeah,
been
I
open
know.
for roughly 150 weekends.
Yep.
No,
We're closing you 2 weekends a
We're
year.
probably only about 40.
We're coming up on 50, I'd say.
I would say 40 to 50.
Because there was a time in October of last year that we were at the club at least one night, 5 weeks in a row. And then I can name at least 3 weekends where we were there Friday and Saturday night.
Wow.
Well, and because one of the things I was thinking about is when you were talking about no pressure night, there's no pressure to have sex, of course. One of the times that I was lucky enough to give newbies a tour, which I was so proud of when you asked me to do that.
So I was probably stressed. Help me, Bradford, help me.
I was very clear and say, look, don't feel like you have to have sex with anybody. This is, it's encouraged, of course, if you want to, but don't feel like you have to. And they were a lovely couple, very nice people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, I think, okay, so.
Sorry.
For your
100th time. Tell us, and we'll get you a cake. Blow on this candle.
Pendulum Party Part 3.
Yeah, if you've been for the 100th time, let us know. We'll create a party for you.
That's awesome.
We're open to that. We love it.
Well, you guys got the number, everybody's membership number. You should be able to see how often people have come.
Yeah, you should be able to, but
Yeah, see, I'm really terrible like that. If I recognize your face or I know you, I don't actually know your member number. I know you as
Okay.
people.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue what your member number is, but I know you guys.
I know our
So-
member number.
Damn better
See?
with the numbers. Yeah.
It's just, so, I just...
we're still
I
going
don't
to do
know,
that
if it's-
auction for member card 69.
Do we still have that?
And
We
like,
went in on that.
and like, I don't know,
Wow.
we'd pick some charity to give it to, like, I don't know. Something that's obviously supports something in line with the club. Like,
Acon.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know anything.
I found that card actually because I put them away, but I put them away somewhere safe. Now I don't know where that's safe.
Great.
Oh my God, that's great. I love it.
And I came across it when we were doing like a
It's a
bit of
little too
a
safe.
spring clean, and we go, ooh, 60 number, we're going to do that auction? Yeah, later. Back in the same place. I don't know where that is now.
So your 100th, whoever's there for their 100th time should get the card number 69.
Essentially, yes.
That's their 100th birthday present.
Yeah, and it's one of the old school membership cards. Like I say, old
Yeah.
school
The
and new school.
originals?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were different. Did you ever seen the old versus the new?
Well, I've only seen C&Ds, and theirs is old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
ours
that.
is new. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I prefer
personally,
the new
I
ones.
like the new ones better, like because we've sort of like I think we kind of evolved in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
we said, like, this
got
would look better,
better.
and we did this and this and this. However, it's nice to see when we see the old ones come back.
Right.
It's retro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're going,
You get a bit of a
And
shock.
I feel it's kind of a kick for them because that's one of the old ones. They go, yeah, we know. We've seen the new ones, but we have the old ones.
That's
and they
awesome.
feel special because there's only 200 made of them. So
Oh, wow. Okay. Really? Because our number is 8 something.
Yeah.
So did you skip any numbers, or do you have how many?
There's some numbers that have been lost along the way, but we're up to like member number. I think we're in the like
Late 1000s.
we're in not the late thousands. We're up to like 1100s now.
Oh, okay.
Well, we want 6969.
We need a lot more people to join the club.
We'll get there.
Rally people, let's go.
All right. There's a lot of people in Sydney. We can do this.
We can. We'll just walk around and hand them out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Where's this place? I'll come
You
with
get
me.
a card. You get a card. You get
get
a
a
card.
card.
Just arbitrarily handing out cards. What is this place? What are you talking about?
I'll just put them onto a minibus and be like, come with me. Come with me.
Okay, but like experienced people, like is that somebody who's been to other clubs and they come to yours? Like what advice would you give them?
It's so hard because it
Bring newbies.
Yeah, bring newbies.
Bring the
Oh.
newbies that you want to introduce
That's
because
genius.
you know exactly what the club is like, and it doesn't feel like we're pushing it on you guys because you can push it for us. Yes.
Yeah,
we
we'll just
we brought
educate-
newbies. Because
Educate.
that's good advice.
That's the only thing I
Because
can
we've done
think
it.
of. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have actually. You have.
Yeah.
Educate people was sort of that's I think that it becomes that a difference in role there. You become the experience and you take on that.
You become a higher part of the community.
Again, to quote C&D, the Yoda couple.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I love that kind of analogy. It's that couple that they've fallen down a couple of times. They know the pitfalls to watch for, and you're right. I think the times that we've brought new people, it's always been memorable, really fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And we always say, one of the analogies I like to use is that the vampires, the vampire that size you is the vampire you'll become. So you take on their attributes and traits.
Interesting,
So
yeah.
the couple that first, I don't want to say breaks you in because that sounds horrible, but sort of that
Introduces
you
you.
have a significant interaction with, whether it's you have an extensive conversation or you end up playing with, will end up shaping the way you sort of
You're spot on.
participate in the lifestyle. So be a good role model for the newbies that are coming in.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, because the couple that sired us, we still follow their first rule, which is you never hook up on the first date, ever. You go out, you have drinks.
I've heard you
broken it a
broken
few
that a
times.
few times,
I'm
mate.
like, wow.
Look,
But we try
I've
not
got
to.
a
We try
story
really,
for
really hard
you.
not
Yeah,
to.
well, and I've
Okay.
heard like the extenuating circumstances be like they're really hot. We really like them. They're only in Sydney for one more night. Let's do
Right.
this.
Yes.
and of course, but
Let's not be silly about this.
all right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
every rule is made to be broken.
Absolutely.
Multiple times. You just got to put it back together.
But we follow it like 95% of the time.
95% of the time, yeah. When I say that, I mean like, let's say couples on RHP.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
meet a couple on RHP. We
Yep.
don't play on the first date. We go,
Yep.
we have drinks, have dinner, have coffee, whatever. And then next time, you always want to set that expectation. But they set that for us.
Yeah.
Who trained us? Oh, great. Now I'm calling this training.
I mean, because I was experienced already in the lifestyle. I feel like it was kind of me.
Oh, so you took on a couple.
No, well, it was. I mean, even with the first couple we played with, right? They had never done anything. You had
That's
never
true.
done anything. I was the only one in the room who had done anything before, so I then took the lead.
That's true. So I made it on my own.
Breaking in the
And all I heard
virgins.
from that was I made it on my own.
You're gonna make it after all. Okay. All right. So, drawing this back to what our podcast is actually about, bisexuality. Why do you think bisexuality is accepted for women at clubs? And this is true of every club we've ever been in, but not as much for men. Why is that not?
I think just personally, I think it's because I know of more male-dominated gay clubs than female ones. And I think because you guys have that avenue to go to, because I've personally been to a gay club that I go occasionally to hang out, and obviously women are accepted there, but I feel now that it's being more accepted within society that being gay is okay, I feel like guys as a general will have more places to go, whereas women, it's sort of, they've just dominated where it was because it's been sexualized already as, you know, sexy to have women on women. So it's like okay to do it everywhere. So I feel like you're now...
Talking like bisexual, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the sort of, what is it, like fluffing or something?
Lipstick lesbians.
Thank you. So I think because of that, the guys have made their own avenue to go to, and women just sort of, you know, push out and dominate.
So I will say one thing that I would argue with that is having gone to gay clubs, bisexuality for men is shunned at gay clubs as well. They're like, you know, if I bring her in to a gay club, most of the guys aren't going to touch me because he's one of those guys, and so they look at
I've
it.
never
It's
witnessed
the equivalent. It's the equivalent of you know, the girls who kiss at like a straight bar, who might be doing it to impress their boyfriends or husbands. That's the way the fellas look at it in a lot of the gay clubs. You're not taken seriously.
I think I've never been a guy. I've never seen it as
I'm not 100% on board with Jess's reasoning. I just think there's still homophobia in society. And because you're in a sexual environment and if there's a homophobic guy around, or even who's just someone who's not even confident really in their own sexuality, if they're present with another man who identifies as bisexual, they immediately think, if we're having sex in a room, this guy's going to touch me, and how am I going to react to that? And so,
It's as if they think that the other person's going to pounce on them just because they're a guy.
Yeah,
and that's not the case.
Yeah. And that I still think there's still that thinking that goes on that because you're bisexual, that means you're going to be intimate. So say, what makes you so special? Relax, buddy.
That is funny because, you know, it's the whole you must be attracted to me, which is, I think those same guys are the ones that think all women are attracted to them as well, which I don't know how to break this to them, but that's not the case. But that was something like when you guys hosted the pendulum party for us, or whatever way you housed the pendulum party. It was such a great, so excited, and we definitely appreciate it from both of y'all, and thank you very much. It was kind of exciting to have that kind of free and... Because
at the club we don't. I actually have heard of clubs where they say no man on man action. That's a rule, and I find that kind of a bit bizarre to me. It's slightly it is hypocritical, and it's this bizarre way of running things. Like, we don't have that rule at our club, and it's never been even a question. It's like if two guys want to hook up, I don't care. It's like, but
don't stain the seat. Don't
don't stain the seat. I think maybe where the confusion lies is because we don't allow in single guys. So I guess that kind of then. We go down the heteronormative line of male-female couples, but obviously that's because there's so many tool bags that just ruin it for the decent dudes that we just have to blanket say no, and to filter out the decent dudes. And even then, the decent dudes who present well, they don't even turn up themselves. I mean, at the pendulum party, for example, we had 4 single guys, 2 turned up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of them, how serious did they all sound? Pretty darn serious. Like, they were sending photos. Yeah. They were saying they wrote extensive emails about coming, and then no show.
I will say the 2 that showed up were fantastic.
Yeah.
But you assume that after 3. I don't remember, but I know there were 2 definitely I know of, and they were, but at least both actively bi and actively
and social
and intelligent.
Yeah.
Which is always a plus as well.
Yeah, that is a bonus. But that goes in hand with the way we filtered it. So we put up a lot of walls or hoops for them to jump through. Yeah. And if you got to that point where I'd even consider reading your email, obviously you'd have to have your head switched on for me to
Right.
for you to send that email. That's kind of how we hire our staff as well. The hiring,
No, yeah, I agree.
the email process is
Yeah.
If you can follow the criteria to the dot, then we'll actually
Yeah.
take you seriously.
yeah.
Yeah.
And your
Yeah, I
staff
agree
is
on that.
fantastic.
Yeah, your staff is amazing.
We've always been super
Yeah.
impressed.
I always joke because when we were looking to move down here, she was jobless. And so one of the jobs that we looked at was for this random little club in Darlinghurst that was looking for women or women to be barback.
People, yeah.
And I was like, do you want to do that? She's like, I think I could do that. I think that'd be fun. And ended up saying, I would rather you not because, I'm not going to see you Friday and Saturday nights, and that's when I have off, and I'd really like to see you. And now looking back on that, I always wonder how things would have changed. Like, would you have even hired her?
No,
I don't know.
Question.
Anyway, she doesn't follow instructions well.
But I get the job done.
That's fine. As long as I'm happy. I'm one of those. Yeah.
It comes through me, so
Yeah, it goes through
it's
Jess.
fine.
I have the
very
ideas and I
easygoing.
just implement that idea.
Yeah. So he doesn't ask me how I do it, but we just get it done.
Make the magic happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I just get all the
If
instructions.
something's not happening right, I go, Jess, this isn't happening right. You need to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 years in, your third birthday is coming up. When is your third birthday party?
25th of March.
Are there still tickets available?
There are still tickets available. Go to the website, www.oursecretspot.com.au. Go to the events page and you can buy your tickets there.
Wow, that was so quick. So just go to the website. There are still tickets there.
I just kind of wanted to get my sales, online
Sales
TV
pitch?
salesman voice going.
3 easy payments of $19.95.
Conditions apply.
Okay, so
Read the T's and C's.
Watching too much TV.
3 years on, is there one thing about your club that you would change? Like, if you could change anything right now, what would you do? Oh, look at I see Jess has a
Ooh,
face.
she has something.
Go.
Okay, we've discussed this before, and I just think coming from, I want a uniform for staff. This has absolutely not. I don't think it has much to do with the presentation. I don't think it has much to do with the club itself. Like, I love our club. There's obviously little things here and there. I'd be like, I wish this room was bigger. Or I wish this room was a little bit smaller. It's nothing I can really, physically do right now. I just like the idea of having, cute uniforms. And I really want to have, that team lead uniform thing. That's really the only thing I want to physically change in the club. Or have, these cute, little shirts with, tied up and cute little skirts. Or, I don't know, I feel like you can just personalize a shirt with a logo and just represent a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it. We've now started doing it on the Glow Party. So we start wearing our Secret Spot t-shirts. And I think it works great because people come up and they know, they know where we are. They know how to talk to us. Not that they
They
don't
know
now.
that you work there.
I will
Yeah.
say that is the big plus I have of that is if it is your first time and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, it would be instantly recognizable.
The staff is
Yeah.
recognizable.
The staff is recognizable. So I do see that benefit.
I mean,
But
it's
I
not
think-
like our staff dress badly at all. I
No,
think the way
your
that
staff-
they dress is perfect.
Yeah, they look great. They
that's-
always look sexy. They
I was
always
gonna say,
look.
it's a positive and a negative because
Yeah.
you lose that individuality, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you do
Just
gain
make
the
them all get tattoos.
recognizability.
I should just
Yeah.
right on their
Right on their
forehead.
forehead.
Stuck
OSS tattoos.
Stuck right there. Yeah.
But no, I appreciate what you're saying because again, if it's my first time and I feel like I need
need an adult.
I need an adult.
Help me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It
like
probably would have benefits in the very specific situations where they haven't worked out. I'm staff because I'm usually milling about in the corridor areas between. It's
Don't
actually
get creepy on us.
sorry. Let me rephrase. I'm usually lurking about.
You still have your pants undone.
I'm hanging about between the bar. I'm outside of the bar, or looking into the bar,
Yeah.
or just behind the bar. And sometimes I obviously, if coming in for the first time, you wouldn't know I'm staff, and I do go in a bit of default mode and say hello,
Yeah.
like I'm obviously welcoming a new guest into our club, but they don't know that I'm.
Well,
Has on occasion
Angela does the
freaked
same
people
thing.
out.
That's fine. However, because I'm usually standing on my own,
Yeah, that's
He
creepy.
gives the appearance of a single
and
man.
it's happened a couple of times where.
Not interested.
Yeah, yes, pretty much. They don't say that, but I've seen the. Sorry, I just say they're holding on to like the male partner is holding onto the lady.
Yeah.
And then they pull them in closer or sort of stand in front of them, like blocking her from. And I'm thinking, I just said hello, and I understand.
Oh
that
yeah, I'm a
they-
creepy single guy.
Yeah, I'm
I'm that
Turned
guy.
into that.
yeah, and they probably go, I thought they were single guys. Who's that dude? He's just standing there. He's weird.
His pants are undone.
He's a little bit sweaty too.
He's dangling about outside the bar. Why is he burning those sheets?
I mean, one of the more annoying ones to me was that situation happened, and the guy pretty much snobbed me and wouldn't just and treated me like I don't know, a piece of gum on the bottom of his shoe, and looked at me and then kept walking and was like sort of blocking his partner, like from me actually being, because they would have had to sort of walk past me, but he sort of stood in front of
Right.
her as he walked past. And then as he took a double take, he obviously must have watched the video on the website and realised that I worked there or whatever
Yeah.
he thought I was. And he turned around, oh, you're in the video, aren't you? And his whole demeanour changed. And I instantly didn't like him from that. And I was just like, it's like, you treat me like a piece of garbage. And then when you realise that maybe I have something to offer you, now you're nice to me.
It's because we don't want to ever see our staff be treated like that.
Yeah.
We turn into that like father mother mode.
You guys are
unfortunately.
extremely protective of your staff, which I think is a very positive thing.
Yeah. I mean, we've
But-
had this a couple of times, especially in the early days when we didn't have any staff. It was literally Jess and I and our business partner, who obviously, when it was just us three, week in, week out, it was us. We'd be behind the bar, we'd be opening the doors, we'd be giving the tours. You did get some rude people occasionally, and there was a pet peeve of mine, and like people and I'd be at the bar making drinks, washing the dishes, and some people would just, I'm trying to think of the right words, but they would treat me like some second-rate citizen, and like you're just a bartender here
Yeah.
at a swingers club, and just sort of talk down to me, look down at me, and I would correct them, I'd just sort of, do that, and then someone along the line, that's actually the owner. It's like, then they would come and they'd be nice and they'd talk to me and oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And I'd be instantly turned off. And it's like, I don't want to hear it. It's just like, just go have fun where you can have fun. I don't have anything to say to you. It's just like, I'm not going to berate you for being horrible to me. It's just do what you got to do. That's a pet peeve of mine.
And that's
You should
so
always-
I
you should
feel
always
like
treat
if you-
people with respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I go,
Yeah.
and it upset me because I go, if you treat me like this, not knowing who I am, how are you going to treat my staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you know who I am, but when you come back, or if someone like you comes back, they go, well, and if they do differentiate, like me and Jess as the owners to our staff, how will they treat our staff?
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
We're just very protective, clearly.
No, I think that's
it's
a
great, yeah.
fantastic
'Cause
thing.
I feel like if we're going to make a community in this lifestyle, it needs to start with obviously people that are going to look after you. So
Yeah.
just make a community everywhere we go. Make a big one, happy family.
We're in for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the whole, and I always sort of harken back to that. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know, if you're already on a peripheral, and let's be realistic, swinging is still a peripheral. It's becoming more mainstream, but it's still a peripheral. You know, you shouldn't do anything to sort of disrupt that community because you're part of that community and you want it to thrive.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, that's.
The
So
angle we're going for.
we got what she would change. Did you have?
I mean, I'm with you with the uniform thing. I'm for and against it.
Yeah.
I guess if you've got certain cuts made of a t-shirt or maybe a tank top or singlet, yeah, whoever's listening,
A couple of your muscular guys, you being one of them, could wear a singlet.
yeah. Or the ladies wear like the singlet and they can have.
Oh, like
the
a
blue.
baby doll cut.
Yeah.
I think
Something.
it's more just like the logo. Like my
and
idea
then just
was like a logo.
like
Just to distinguish you
young
as-
women do with their school uniform. They'll tart it up in whatever way they like to.
Wow.
So, you see them like you can get the Catholic schoolgirl uniform with the skirt that goes down to your ankles, but then all of a sudden it's like here, like just just at the
Where your pants
mid-thumb.
currently are?
Yeah. And you say, I don't remember that being that size when you bought it.
It shrunk in the wash.
Yeah.
I think I told my mom that one time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did it work?
And my skirt suddenly changed from tartan to like all blue, and she's like, "Where'd you get this from?" I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, and the shirt that somehow only buttons up to here.
Yeah.
I mean, mid chest.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleavage
Yeah.
showing. Sorry,
Yeah.
I forget people can't
Keep,
see.
people
can-
can't
yeah.
see. The people in the microphone don't know what you're doing.
Can't point. Gotta do.
I just want to say something about the whole community thing. Is part of our vision. Actually, so this will answer part of your question. What I want to change more, and what I think what we can do now, and what we're starting to achieve, is our original vision, which is make a community hub.
Yeah,
Sort of like
yeah.
a center for these fringe lifestyles, whether so they're swinging or just I like to say open in general. So they can include
BDSM.
swinging, poly,
Kink.
whatever you want to call it. You're welcome. That kind of thing. And for a while there, it was put on the back burner. I think just out of how we're trying to maintain a business at the same time.
Right.
And so how are we going to do this? Week to week, we've got bills to pay. We've got the lights
figure
don't
out
stay
how to
on
run it.
just because we're
Well,
nice
there could be enough friction to keep the lights on.
But in the last few say half years, so when Mischief, is that what we
Yes.
call it
Yes.
on this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. When she approached us about sex ed, and then we sat down and had that discussion, and then it sort of ticked over. It's like, yeah, this is where we wanted to take the club originally.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're getting back on that track, and we're becoming more and more like that. And so I want to keep pushing that and making more things about the community. And then it goes in hand with the pendulum. It goes hand in hand with sex ed and whatever else there might be to come in the future. So I'm really happy and I'm really proud of where it's coming. And it's obviously helped with you guys and Mischief that make a community that includes more and more people, as not just focused around the business of the Swingers Club, but it's just the home base, and that's what we want it to be.
Making that community.
Well, I think
Yeah.
personally, it's that attitude that you guys both have. It's that attitude shines through in the club, and that's what makes it successful. You guys really are open and accepting of whatever is you are that hub for us. And I think that's sort of obvious on your regulars that do come back that we talk to. It's like I said before, it's a safe place. It's a social place. You're not there necessarily just to fucking run. It's to build relationships and have friends. Not necessarily poly relationships, but just friendships.
Yeah, and I mean, I think
We've made our closest friends.
our closest friends by far and away are people in the lifestyle.
Yeah, us too.
Yep. Yep.
And I feel that that you share so much more with them because you kind of have to.
Yeah. Well, it improves your communication skills. That's what we've always said. It
Yeah.
builds
Yeah.
between she and I is the open relationship. The swinging builds our communication. Well, that's true amongst your friends as well. If we can talk about swapping partners, there's little we can't talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything else becomes sort of like incidental into your lives. You say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this and that. So it's like, oh, you're cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it.
I don't know
All
what
right.
it is.
So this question, So I've got
I like it already.
I've got add-ons to this one as well.
Okay.
So the question
That
is,
comes with options. You can get the tinted windows, powered sunroof.
Wheelchair.
have you ever had sex in your parents' house? That's the first question.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Have
Yes.
you? Yes. Add me. Absolutely. Okay. Have you ever had sex in your parents' bed?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Hi.
Fucked up.
Mine was
aren't we?
accident.
Would anybody like to
Mine was on
expand upon any of those?
Accidental. Wait. Whoa. Stop. Back it up. How was it accidental?
I was
Tell me.
very intoxicated, and I ran in, and my room originally, my old house, my old parents' house, was to the left. Now me, running through the door, twisting a little bit, I'd ran to the right, and we just sort of swung doors open, started going for it, and then I looked up and I was like, "It's not my room. It's not my room. Get out! Get out! And started running.
But you were already mid-sex at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming your
Everything-
parents were not there.
No.
They were curled up in the bed. She's in here.
What did you do?
Because I imagine this is some kind of early morning rendezvous.
Yeah.
This is not, 11 a.m. on a Monday. Everyone's at work. Unless, what kind of alky are you?
Yeah, it was a Saturday. They'd gone out for dinner.
Honey, hand me my glasses. I gotta see who's in the bed with us. Yeah.
Damn, them mice are back.
Yeah, for me it was planned. It was just I wanted to have sex with my parents.
Dirty
bed.
bastard.
I wanted to say I did it, and I did. So
That's
there it is.
awesome.
How about your childhood bed? Like the bed that when you were a kid you slept in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I took that out when I turned like 10 or something. My mum upgraded me to a double.
Okay, then did you then have sex in that double bed?
Oh, yeah, multiple times.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the room
I'm just
kind of
thinking
grew
like
up
the
in.
first bed I had, like that first. Like,
Well, no, I didn't do it in my cot.
Your crib.
bed.
Your crib.
It's kind of a bit squishy in there.
I would fit.
I didn't do it on the changing table.
I can just see you at 19 looking at this potential girl in a bar going, hey, want to come back and see my crib? And she's like, oh my God, he has a place of his own. You get back and he's like, this is my crib. And that's my mobile. Want to see my rattle? milk, lemonade. Anyway, you?
Which one?
In
the bed?
In your childhood bed or childhood room, whatever.
Yes, to my childhood bed, but only because I had that bed through college, but not my childhood room because we moved every couple of years.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, witness protection, you can't stay anywhere
true.
long.
It's
Keep
true.
rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I lost my virginity in my childhood bed.
Well, that's a nice, safe place.
Wait, is that a joke?
No,
Witness protection?
Yes.
Yes, I would not be advertising that if it was for reals.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, I kind of feel like you're defeating the purpose here. Hey, mafiosos, just chill, baby, chill. We're in Australia now.
So good, we're in Sydney.
But Ricky the Hook knows. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. So I do want to touch on one thing. So I know Lawrence has said it a couple of times. I know Angela said it once. So we're now going to introduce Sex Ed in the City. Officially.
For reals?
Our website is up. So we've been working with Miss Jiff and Our Secret Spot to do sex education for adults. It's one of those things, many of us, most of us, all of us do it. There's always something you can learn to do it a little better for both you and your partner. And our goal is to...
And also to branch out into different areas that you may want to explore with your partner, but don't know how, don't know where to start. Just want to get a little bit of information first as well.
And we'll do a whole podcast probably next week with a little more information and details on that. But in the meantime, you can go to www.sexedinthecity.com and see some of our upcoming schedule. Again, hosted at Our Secret Spot. And you can see some of the classes that we will be doing and have done, and et cetera, et cetera. And you can contact us that way. On the other side of that, Our Secret Spot, again, www.oursecretspot.com.au.
Because we're in Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are on Twitter at Our Secret Spot.
Yep.
Is there an email address?
info@oursecretspot.com.au.
Is there anything else that you want to add?
Facebook is like
It's a
Our
website.
Secret Spot, yeah.
Yeah, no, us too.
Yeah.
We're the same way.
Okay.
It's like
Twitter works better.
We do
for this
Twitter
sort
a
of
lot
thing.
more.
Yeah.
We're on
Yeah.
Insta as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll need to follow you on Instagram.
You need to follow us on Instagram.
That's the only place we don't follow you. We follow you everywhere
Yeah.
else. We know where you live.
I feel like we haven't been posting enough on Instagram lately. Actually.
We're the
If you
same
give it to
way.
me, I'll do that.
They don't let us post nipples, and if
Yeah.
as soon as they say
I
you
know,
can't post a
our
nipple,
best
all I
picture
want
got
to do is
taken down.
see. Don't you hate that?
I was so upset.
Ugh.
It was me on another girl's nipples. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I would.
Who doesn't want to see that?
And they were covered. But it
They
was
were covered with
apparently,
beautiful love hearts on my lips. Like, come
apparently it was a sexual act, so that can't be allowed.
on.
Whatevs.
Nah.
That's why we like Twitter.
Yes.
Because our
more
sexual
accepting.
acts are yeah exactly accepted.
They're accepted.
So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
We need to do it again. You're making a face. What?
I was looking at it. I was
He just
looking
looks at me when I.
He was reveling in her beauty.
Oh.
Indeed.
So sexy.
Wow. All right. You can email us your questions, comments, and rude remarks. We are theatomsoflove@gmail.com. Find us on the interwebs, www.bytheby.com.au. We're on the Twitterverse at By the By Podcast. And we're on Facebook at...
If you look for By the By Podcast, you'll find it.
Facebook.com/By the By Podcast, yeah. So once again, thank you to the Law and Babydoll. If you haven't figured out their real names by now, we're not going to edit those out, so you know.
Not be listening properly. Clearly.
And report to the dungeon room for 10 lashings.
Tongue
Oh,
lashing.
actually, I had an email about a lady. She goes, I've been to the club before, but my partner doesn't know how to do any of the BDSM stuff. Does anyone at the club know how to or want to do it to me? I'm yet to reply.
Ooh,
Yes.
you can advise her to come to one of the Sex Ed in the City classes on kink and fetish that we'll be having, I think, in June or July. Coming up, anyway. So
It'll be on the calendar.
it'll be
Check
on
it
the
out.
calendar. Check it out.
I was kind of hoping I could just do it and, have some fun myself. But anyway.
Hashtag you will be the one that's doing it.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you're doing the king class, but all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.